Good afternoon. This is Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends Blogspot. Today is Tuesday, or I guess it's Wednesday, the 13th of December, 2006. And I've got the S&P 500 on the screen right now. S&P closed up 16 cents based on the action in the spiders, that is. Nasdaq was up as well, and the mid-caps too. The semiconductors were the weak group once again. We'll take a look at those in a moment. But let's take a look at the the S&P 500, not talking too good today. Stock market remains in a great uptrend. This prior resistance continues to act as support down near 141. And, we can't really say much of anything new here on this daily time frame. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 10-minute time frame instead. You can see the market gapped higher this morning. I didn't look at the news. I didn't bother to check to see what people were all excited about, but it came up to this prior level where we had a little bit of resistance late last week as well, or actually about Thursday of last week. And that's now looking like a little bit of resistance up near 142.30. So that's our short-term level of resistance. Support, we've got 141, let's call it 141.50 right now, and then below that at 140.80. So little's changed in the market overall, a very non-volatile session. You can see that it just kind of chopped back and forth in here on the 1-minute time frame above and below this daily VWAP, but it did hold it at the end of the day and started seeing a little bit of volume come into it as well. Not sure I really want to read much into that, but I'm glad I'm not trading the S&Ps on a day like today because it was pretty choppy in there in a very narrow range. The Nasdaq 100, let's take a look in there as well. Also had a pretty narrow range, I thought, here. Market was below that daily VWAP most of the day until we got a little bit of late day buying. So on the daily time frame, nothing at all has changed here, and in fact it looks like this isn't projecting all of the data there. So it appears there's some kind of problem with my data on that. Let's take a look at this trend line though. Continues to hold near that trend line. More important level of support, I'm going to say it over and over again, is near 43.25. And when we look at the half-hour time frame, we continue to see just a bunch of choppy action, no real decisiveness in there. So perhaps it's distribution. We do have the 10-day moving average to the 20, and that's kind of what I designate as the official beginning of distribution. Now, it only means something significant if it breaks below support, which in this case is about 43 to 43 and a quarter. Again, we've got that rising 50-day moving average, so let's not be quick to call the end of this rally. But a pullback down towards that level might actually bring enough new shorts into the market because a lot of people are looking at this market looking for an entry on the short side that I think you could get some shorts brought into the market on a trend line break, and then it brings it down maybe even just below that 50-day moving average. Then we could squeeze those new shorts pretty good for another rally. But that's just a little bit further down the road, not anything that we're need to be concerned about immediately. The semiconductors, I pointed out this little trend line yesterday and how it's broken. But again, the more important level of support is down near $32.75 to $33 a share, and the resistance up near 36. So it continues to be a whole bunch of, to me, unimportant action in here. Although you could look at this and say the last 4 days, we've seen this market close below the 50-day moving average and below the 200-day moving average. And that's got to be getting some people nervous. So we've got to keep an eye on that. On the 30-minute time frame, we can see this market gapped higher into a declining 5-day moving average, and then it continued to sell off. Now it looks like maybe it's getting down towards some short-term support near that 33.5 or so, and keep an eye on that. It could break down further and see a test of this range down near 32.75, 33, and if that were to fail to hold, then I think 32 and then 31.50. The mid-caps, MDY. Mid-caps, again, this group has shown the relative strength as of recently, and it looks like a nice little pullback, resistance becoming support in here. So we'll have to see if this market can maybe turn around and lead the rest of the market higher. Here we've got the 10-minute time frame, And I think yesterday I said I really like to see this market get above and stay above 148.50. It failed to do that, and we've still got this declining 5-day moving average. So intermediate term trend remains lower. We're starting to see these moving averages crisscross. That means there's indecision. Indecision after a decline often gets resolved in the direction of the primary trend, which in this case is clearly higher. So we've got to be alert that now maybe I misjudged the level, but maybe above 149 now. That's where the buyers come back into this market. Let's take a look at the stocks. We've been short AMD for a few days in here. We'd gotten short at a price of 21.25 over on this day right here, and held it 4 good days, but today we were stopped out. I suggested a stop at $20.65. So we should have been stopped out of there with a gain of about 60 cents for AMD. So that was a pretty good trade. Hopefully you didn't take the stop, and maybe you got it out down near that target of $20 a share. But officially we're out of it. POM. Now this stock we had gotten involved in yesterday at $26.40, and we had our stop at $26.28. Let's go ahead and raise that up to about $26.51 in POM. We're also short FormFactor, FORM. We had gotten short this stock at 37 bucks a share yesterday, and I had suggested lowering your stop down to 36.45. That stop was hit here and just kind of took out that little high from yesterday and then completely fell apart. So officially we are stopped out with a 45-cent gain. And Gateways, GTW, we'd been looking at this, and I didn't give an official entry, but I said you want to get involved around this area, so $2 a share, and I said raise your stop up to break even on that. I'd say that if you're in Gateway, $2.13. Now I didn't get involved in Gateway, and the guy that gave me the idea to look at Sirius Satellite, which by the way I'm very happy to be out of, because it is continuing to go down, and I hope it continues to go down till they go out of business. But Gateway was an idea he brought to me. So he kiddingly emailed me the other day saying, hey, Brian, after all the complaining you did about Sirius, are you going to give me credit for Gateway? And I didn't give him credit or blame him for the loss in Sirius, so I'm not going to give him credit for Gateway either. Again, we're all responsible for our decisions. Sorry, but if you got it, if you're in the stock, you deserve credit, not me. And that's the way it goes. Let's take a look at the stocks I'd mentioned yesterday. Internet Initiative Japan, symbol IIJI. Said we want to buy that above 920, so you had an opportunity to get involved there today. I would say at this point, raise your stop to break even. I said buy it above 915. Raise your stop to break even in IIJI, or up to $9.20. Royal Gold, RGLD. We're looking for a pullback in here first to 32.95. We got that pullback, and then what we were looking to do was to buy it on strength above $33.15. That occurred right here, so you should have been involved in the stock right here at 33.15. And right now, I would say raise your stop up. Let's take a look at a shorter term time frame. Raise your stop up at this point to 33.16. That way you'll still make a penny, and maybe that covers your commissions. But Royal Gold looks good on this daily time frame, and maybe that can continue to move higher. Exxon Mobil. This is the stock that what we were looking for was a move above 76.30. Like I always say, don't chase the gaps higher. It opened at 76.45 or so, and if you look at what I think the proper way to play it would have been on strength above 76.40, and then you could probably put your stop in there. Officially, we're not in the stock, but so I'm not going to continue to update it. I would say if you are in it on your own, good job. Stop probably at 76.80 in Exxon Mobil. And finally, we had Teva Pharmaceuticals as a potential short sale trade for today. I had suggested selling that stock short below 31.80. That's this line right here. And our stop was to be at 32.05. Let's keep our stop at 32.05 in Teva.